Welcome to my channel. I'm Janet Yung, and in my channel I share about Feng Shui, 八字, entrepreneurship, as well as personal growth, especially in the areas of motivation, success, and communication. In today's episode, I'll be talking about Feng Shui for abundance, especially from a wealth perspective. So without further ado, let's move on to the next segment. Now, when we talk about Feng Shui, we are talking really about earth luck. And if you had seen some of my other videos, there are usually three kinds of luck that we're looking at. We have what we call the heaven luck, which is basically our 八字 or the date, month, year, and time that we are born, that defines basically our characteristics as well as what we like to do and the influences that will come into our life. Then we have the earth luck, which is Feng Shui, which is basically the living space or working environment that influences us when we work or live in it. Then we have the last one, which is what we call mankind luck. Now, mankind luck is basically our background, our education, which shapes our values and certain beliefs that we have. So all in all, each of the kind of luck will be crucial, playing equal importance. If not, the mankind luck is even more important because it influences whatever decisions and choices that we make. Now, when we look at Feng Shui, some would utilize it more like a cure. What does it mean by a cure? It means, for instance, if you are going through influences that gives you challenges or brings your mental state to turmoil or on a downward spiral, generally you can actually utilize Feng Shui to help you. So when we talk about Feng Shui for abundance, I would like to point out that when we talk about abundance, there are two different points that we should be looking at. One, which is obviously in a lot of people's mind, which it relates to wealth. The other, it's really health. Now, if you look at it, if we don't have good health, all the wealth in the world, all the riches and money in the world will not buy you happiness. So therefore, from an abundance perspective, I would usually look at it from both a wealth as well as a health perspective. Health meaning spiritual health, mental health, and physical health. But in today's episode, I would really like to focus more on Feng Shui for wealth. So when we look at wealth from a personal perspective, what kind of wealth are we looking at? We can look at number one, inherited wealth, which not many of us may be that lucky to get. Number two, we have what we call the self-generated wealth. Now, self-generated wealth can come in two sides. One, which is basically the income generation while working for people, exchanging our time for money. That's basically as an employee working for money. And then the other type of wealth from a self-generated perspective would be from businesses, from investments that you are looking at. In today's episode, I would like to touch on wealth from the perspective of basically getting more income or revenue flow from businesses or investments, not necessarily from a career perspective. Now, if you want to look at it from a career perspective, I've actually produced another video, which I'm pointing to the link here, that you can click on and watch Feng Shui for career success in that particular video itself. When we look at wealth from a self-generated business perspective or investment perspective, there are four perspectives that we can look at. First perspective is what we call landform Feng Shui. Now, what is landform Feng Shui? If you are living in a mountainous area where there are mountains, higher ground, lower ground, or for some, they may say Singapore is such a flat ground there isn't ups and downs. Actually, there are. If you utilize Google Earth, which I've shown in another of my videos, in terms of how you can check landform with Google Earth, I'm pointing to the link here. And if you would like to, I will be including all these videos that I mentioned in the video description itself as well. Generally, when we look at landform Feng Shui, it is good to select a block, a house unit, basically with higher ground at the back, which symbolizes support, which means, like, for instance, when you're sitting at a desk location having a wall behind you. So it's the same thing. having support for whatever that you do from your mentors, from your bosses. Living at home with a mountain higher up at home will also bring about good relationship, helpful people as well. Now, if we were to look at then landform from water perspective, lower land in front, so long as it's not sloping down quickly, because if you remember, I mentioned that in front of the door or in front of the house, there should generally be a bright hall or where you can collect energy itself. That would be great. So lower land in front, if you have water, it would be great, but this water should not be rushing, because similar concept of if you have water rushing fast, then you cannot accumulate it within your palms. You cannot actually have the accumulation of wealth or chi in front of your home as well. So when we're selecting, basically these are the key landforms from a good feng shui perspective. However, we also need to look at, are there any pylons, poison arrows that basically hits your front door or your windows when looking out. All these I mentioned in some of my videos in terms of feng shui for your front door, as well as in the landform video that I mentioned earlier on. So you can refer to those videos to find out more. The next point that we look at in terms of wealth accumulation is the wealth stars. Now in period 8, which is from the years 2004 to 2024, most times we will look for the number 8 wealth star. And this number 8 wealth star can be from an annual perspective or a house permanent perspective on identifying these stars, activating, spending time in these areas, having the right kind of landform in order for you to enjoy good feng shui. Now, when I mention the flying stars, is basically the energy that affects ourselves. So you will have to be in that space itself to be enjoying the good wealth. By spending time in the number 8 sector, either for the year and working in your study, for instance, where the number 8 wealth star is, it basically helps you to be more action oriented, taking the necessary steps to implement and generate wealth. So that's usually what we do for the number 8 star. If you like more specific details, I've actually created a video especially for the 2021 forecast on how to have wealth and success, and I'm pointing to the link here so that you can watch the video, and I'll include it in the video description as well. Now, as in a lot of my videos that I mentioned earlier on, we are entering a new period, which is period 9 in the year 2024. So therefore, the 9, which can then become a future wealth star or the wealth star in the longer term. And it's good to note where this 9 star is for your home. It can be for the home in terms of natal flying star chart. It can also be where the number 9 star lands on an annual basis. Since we are not in 2024 yet, therefore, how do we utilize number 9 star? Basically, I use the 9 star in a couple of ways. We can use the 9 star from the perspective of wealth accumulation. So wherever I see the 9 star, most times this is where I may get my clients to look at long-term investment, decision making, or research to see what they want to do. Or it could be from a career or wealth or business perspective to do the research in these particular areas, because the thought flow would be in congruence and will help them move towards a longer term and building the right kind of foundation. Now 9 star, it's also the fire element representing the south, which can also be about brand building. So if my clients are really looking at building the business brand for longer term or building their own personal brand for longer term, the number 9 star is also a great area to look at. So from a permanent 9 star perspective, from now on, basically when we are selecting a new home for my client, I will usually look at where the number 9 mountain star, which appears on the left, or the wealth star, which appears on the right, which I'm showing in this picture here, to see whether is it afflicted by being in the toilet, is it missing, or it's a utilizable area that my clients can utilize, because it will play a crucial role in the year 2024 onwards. Now, do you think everyone should then be upgrading to a period 9 house? Because I have received questions from clients as to whether should they be upgrading their house or upgrading their apartment to period 9. So here's a point that I'd like to basically emphasize. If you are living in an apartment and in that apartment there are multiple units within the block, just by renovating your unit at your level itself will not constitute a change of the period of the unit to period 9. Usually, if you want a changeover of the period of the entire block itself, it will require the changing of the facade of the building, every single level, which represents the earth energy, as well as the roof energy, either changing 1/3 or basically doing waterproofing in order for it to be upgraded to a period 9 building. And whether it is to your advantage to upgrade to a period 9 will then depend on the facing of the home as well as the flying stars of the home. In today's episode, I will not touch on it too much, but if you'd like to understand a little bit more about flying stars and the natal chart, here's a video that you can watch a little bit more. Now, if you are living on a landed property and you would like to change, there are 3 key factors like I mentioned earlier on. Basically, we are looking at changing 3 types of luck. Heaven luck, which is the roof, the mankind luck, which is the facade or the front of your entire home, the outside of your entire home, and the third is the ground. So at least 1/3 of each of this must be changed in order for it to be changed to a period 9, and it has to be done after February 2024 for it to be changed over to a period 9 house. And the third one that I'd like to touch on is, do symbols really work? Do water features work? Wealth vases, gold ingots, do they really work? And my answer to you is, it depends on you. Because I have 2 groups of clients. One group of clients believe that they are very strong-minded. They basically just have to stay in the location and then be able to activate and be able to do well and generate the wealth from their perspective by spending time in the right locations. I have another group of clients who feel better when they see, for instance, the wealth pot, the actual action of putting in the money savings in the number 9 long-term future sector in order for them to see the wealth grow. Now, why is this the case? Now, if you remember previously, I mentioned human beings are made up of vibrations. And these vibrations can get reinforced or it can be depressed, correct? So for some people, they have to constantly have something to remind themselves. By having, for instance, either the wealth vase, the dragon tortoise, for them to see every single day, it reminds them to take a particular action. Therefore, it reinforces in them what needs to be done. So to me, whether you believe or do not believe in the item placement itself, whether that thing helps you, is crucial. Just like in a lot of books, when we talk about positive thinking, by having a phrase in front of us, being positive, or motivational quotes around us so that we wake up every single morning to remind us to take certain actions. These are similar things. Therefore, I usually leave it to my clients if they prefer to place items or not. If you look at Chinese history, symbolization, even Western culture, symbolization has been there all this while. So I wouldn't say it totally doesn't work. I think it depends on the faith and the belief of the individual. So that's my third point. The fourth point is what is very, very crucial. It's what we call mindset for growth. And mindset to know that wealth is an energy flow, like I mentioned in a previous episode. If you have been brought up thinking that you should not have too much money, or money is the root of all evil, then unlikely you will be able to enjoy the abundance, because by having money in your mind, you think you are not in the right place. So I think the mindset about money, about wealth is crucial. If you were to look at it, for energy to flow, you have to give in order to receive. So then you create a flow of giving and receiving. So it's the same for wealth and abundance. The more you give, the more you will receive. And the mindset about if you give your wealth, you give willingly without expecting of return, usually universe returns you even more. If you are looking at abundance from the perspective that only if you work hard then you receive money, then most times you will work hard then you will receive money. But if you believe that you are able to pick up the right kind of skill sets right on the energies that are within the home or within the period itself, such that maybe investments that you put in money will actually earn money, then that belief will also come true. So therefore the mindset is crucial in helping you accumulate wealth and abundance. These are the 4 key points that I would like to share. So let me summarize. The first is landform. Landform is crucial in terms of your home. Why is this the case? Because if you do not have the right landform, by having mountain at the back and lower ground or a space where you can accumulate energy, then you're not able to have stable accumulation of energy for you to do things like I mentioned previously. Number 2, knowing where your home natal flying stars, where the good stars are. And if you're looking for wealth, it's basically the number 8 star in period 8 and the number 9 star in period 9, where it is in your home permanently and where the annual stars will help you by having the right mindset and taking the right kind of actions in order for you to generate the additional wealth and income, especially if you are thinking about starting the additional new side gig or new revenue stream for your business. Then the third one that we're looking at is symbolization. So that totally depends on you. If you feel that you need that water feature or that wealth vase or that wealth ingot that will help you remind yourself to work harder, to put in the right steps and take the action, go ahead and do it. If you are the one who doesn't believe, then it's also up to you. I like to be reminded, so at home, in places of my work to generate wealth, I will usually have positive thinking quotes as well as the different symbols that helps me in my business itself. Then the fourth and one of the most crucial is the mindset that money is not the root of all evil. By not having the right attitude in terms of earning or spending money, then it's the root of all evil. By having the right attitude about money, that you believe that you are able to have abundance, that you are not forever in the downward spiral, then you will always be able to enjoy wealth and have that wealth come in because it is a flow. And remember, the more you give, the more you will receive. So I hope you enjoyed today's sharing, and I will see you next week where I will talk about Feng Shui for abundance from a health and relationship perspective. In the meantime, if you do enjoy my video, please remember to click on the like button, share with your friends if you find that it's useful, and subscribe if you have not. So I'll see you the next week. Goodbye.